If I say book, you say haul. Book, haul, book, haul. Let's do it. Hi guys, welcome back, bienvenue and all that jazz. It's time to talk about some books. Today I have for you a book haul. I know I said in my last one, I think, that I was going on a book buying ban, and I have mostly successfully stuck to it. I only bought one of these books. Some of them were sent to me by the authors. Some of them I won in a Bookstagram giveaway. And then a lot of them, like 75% probably, came from my dear friend Leanne on Instagram. I'll link her information down below. She does book reviews and all that kind of stuff. She's at the Book Chamber over there, so you should definitely follow her because she rocks. And I'll let you know when we get into that section from her. But kicking stuff off, let's just jump straight into it. We have a book that was sent to me by the author, and that is Gurzil by I Anonymous. And from what I understand, this is kind of like a historical fantasy, I would say. I think it's supposed to be set towards the end of the Roman Empire. It's like falling apart. And so there's like political stuff going on about that. And there's also like an evil dragon. So on the war-ravaged island of Britain, King Cedric of Wessex launches a treacherous blitz attack against the last of the Romano Britons. Helplessly outnumbered, the last descendant of King Lear, George Bertilac, must hold the Saxon advance long enough for his sworn enemy, Arthur Pendragon of Camelot, to unite the Britons in common cause. Far to the south, in the deserts of Libya, Princess Sabra of Selene fights against a more insidious foe. However, the shadowy cult that holds her people in bondage is more formidable than she realizes, for the god they worship is no idol of stone or gold. He is the last of his kind, an ancient evil, a relic of an age when fallen angels and Nephilim ruled over mankind. For centuries he has waited, but now the dragon Gurzil is ready to make his move. So, I mean, it's super short. It comes out, I want to say next week on like March 2nd. And so I'll be reading this and having a review up on the channel dedicated to this. And thank you so much for sending me this book. We then have another book that I got sent by the author. That is Paladin Unbound, an Archives of Evelium tale by Jeffrey Speight. And this is another self-published book. I believe it actually was, I think it won like some indie award for being super awesome. It's another, I mean, I'm living for this because I've been reading so many chunky books. Like when you can give me like a fast, fun tale in like 300 pages or less, like I am here for it. So this in particular sounds like a book about a half-orc. I want to say he's like a paladin, and he is having a crisis of faith, but maybe him regaining his faith is the only thing that can save the world. It just sounds super cool. The most unlikely of heroes, a lowly itinerant mercenary, Umra, the Peacebreaker, is shunned by society for his mongrel half-orc blood. Desperate to find work for himself and his band of fighters, Umra agrees to help solve a rash of mysterious disappearances, but uncovers a larger, more insidious plot to overthrow the natural order of Evelium in the process. As Umra journeys into the depths of Telsidor's keep to search for the missing people, he confronts an ancient evil. After suffering a great loss, turns to the god he disavowed for help. Compelled to save the kingdom he loves, can he defeat the enemy while protecting his true identity, or must he risk everything? Sounds like a good old like D&D type romp, and I'm here for it. We then have the books that I won in the Bookstagram giveaway that I was talking about from my friend Estella at Another Shelf. I'll link her Bookstagram information down below so you can go ahead and check her out. She is super lovely. And so she sent me books 1 and 2 of the Winnowing Flame Trilogy. So that is The Ninth Reign and The Bitter Twins. I have been hearing about these for so long and have been so curious, but I live in the US where, for whatever reason, you can't get them. So like you have to get them from something like Book Depository because you cannot get even the ebook version in the United States, which is just ludicrous. But as I understand it, there's vampire elves and just like good times. And so I really don't want to know too much more about this series, but I'm definitely excited to get to it this year. We then have the one solo book that I bought for myself, and that is House of Sky and Breath, Book 2 in the Crescent City series by Miss Sarah J. Maas. So this is it's a follow-up to Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood that's back here somewhere. This is like almost urban fantasy-esque. We follow our girl Bryce Quinlan and her friend Danica at the start of our story. Something tragic happens like 25-30% of the way through, and Bryce gets thrown into trying to help solve this case. And it's such a dangerous case that she's appointed like an angel protector in Hunt Avalar, I want to say his name was. Maybe I need to reread book 1 before I read this. But shenanigans ensue. It was the first time I've ever read Miss Sarah J. Maas, and I had a fun time with it, and so I'm definitely interested in seeing where it goes next. It's not a favorite of all time or anything like that. It's just good old fun kind of urban fantasy vibes. I will say though that her like schmexy time scenes are like, they do not work for me. Like, brochacho, please stop talking so much. Like, I cannot. But I am excited to see where we go in book 2 eventually. Now, everything else was sent to me by my lovely friend Leanne at the book chamber on the good old Bookstagram. And so these are, I want to say, largely young adult fantasy. Some of them I've heard of. Some of them I haven't. Some of them are beautiful, some kind of special edition, maybe Owl Crate or something. If you know, like, go ahead and correct me down below, but let's just jump right into it. So we have an Enchantment of Ravens by Miss Margaret Rogerson. I have heard more about A Sorcery of Thorns than her new book, Vespertine. I haven't really heard much about an Enchantment of Ravens, but it's kind of super cool. I'm into this cover. It's kind of shiny, like iridescent-y. But like, I have no idea much about this book. Every enchantment has a price. With a flick of her paintbrush, Isabel creates stunning portraits for a dangerous set of clients, the fair folk. These immortal creatures cannot bake bread or put a pen to paper without crumbling to dust. They crave human craft with a terrible thirst, and they trade valuable enchantments for Isabel's paintings. But when she receives her first royal patron, Rook, the Autumn Prince, Isabel makes a deadly mistake. She paints mortal sorrow in his eyes, a weakness that could cost him his throne and even his life. Sounds super dramatic, super tropey, but I mean, sometimes I need a fun read when I'm in the middle of like the slog from Wheel of Time, or when I start blazzing, like, I'm gonna want like cute fun things. Then we have House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This is one that I feel like was kind of like a darling last year. So here, let's have a look at her. I feel like it was a darling last year on BookTube, where lots of people were reading it. It sounds kind of like it has creepy seaside vibes. There's a girl who lives in a manor by the sea with her sisters, and stuff happens. And I just remember people saying that it was actually like really creepy for like young adult. And so I'm here for some creep sometimes. Like, ooh, creepy, creep, creep. So like, I'm excited to check this out. We then have The Falconer by Elizabeth May. This is one I have never heard of in my entire life. So if you've read this and you love it, please let me know. But sounds like it's like about a rich girl who lies. She's leading some kind of double life where she's a murderer and a falconer, and like, I have no idea. It sounds like it could be a good time, but if it's something that's actually like really good and I should prioritize, like, go ahead and feel free and let me know in those comments down below, because I've never heard of this. We then have one that I've been excited for a while to check out this author, and that is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. So here she is in all her glory. And I don't remember, I heard stuff about this at one point. A gifted tailor in disguise, 3 legendary dresses, the competition of a lifetime. I heard of something about it being like Hunger Games meets like Project Runway or something. And I used to love watching Project Runway, so like, I'm intrigued. And I mean, come on with this cover. It sounds super cool. And so I'm excited to check this out. And then I think there's a sequel, Unravel the Dusk, and then there's like a third book that's set in this world but not necessarily connected to the characters, and that's Six Crimson Cranes. So hopefully I fall in love with this and just want to read all of her work. We then have another one that I know absolutely nothing about, and that is Crier's War by Miss Nina Varela, or Varela, I don't know. Here she is. Drink her in. It's kind of like this almost like cool, like shiny type thing. And again, never heard of it, no idea. It was just pretty. After the War of Kinds ravaged the kingdom of Rabu, the Atame, designed to be the playthings of royals, took over the estates of their owners and bent the human race to their will. Now Ayla, a human servant rising in the ranks at the house of the sovereign, dreams of avenging the death of her family by killing the sovereign's daughter, Lady Crier. Crier, who was made to be beautiful, to be flawless, and to take over the work of her father. Okay, so it sounds kind of like dystopian-y. I'm here for it. If you've read this one too, like, let me know. We then get into some of the buttes. So let's just drink this in for a moment. So this is Winterwood by Shea Ernshaw with some beautiful teal sprayed edges. Drink her in. Yes. The Walker women of Fir Haven have always lived in the woods. Some say the first Walker woman came from the forest, her bones built of roots and thorns as she sprouted up from the ground. This is where their legacy began, a strange and mythical legacy rooted in rumors and folklore. Over the years, there have been many tales of Walker women. Most have been lost, stories forgotten, fables and myths washed away with the spring rains. This story is one such tale. It was once scattered like autumn leaves buried in the soil, stitched there until it arose, until something stirred it loose, until the forest shuddered and opened its eyes. Ooh, so it sounds kind of like creepy, magical forest mixed with like almost like charmed, witchy type women. I'm here for it. Hello, Winterwood. I mean, it's winter, so it might be a perfect time to read it. We then have Star Daughter by Shveta Thakrar. Maybe? I mean, I tried, okay? Like, give me some credit. So here she is. Beautiful, like, opalescent-y spine. And then we have some beautiful, deep purple sprayed edges. This is, I think the girl is actually like a star, maybe? If the night sky holds many secrets, it holds Sheetal Mystery's secret the closest. A secret that explains why her hair is the silver of starlight, or why some nights the stars call Sheetal by name. Stars like her mother, who returned to her place in the constellation Pushya years ago. Since that day, Sheetal has been forced to hide. But as her 17th birthday draws near, the pull from the sky is growing stronger. So strong that Sheetal loses control and a flare of starfire burns her human father, an injury only a full star's blood can heal. I mean, star magic. That's cool, right? So this is Star Daughter. We then have another one I have never heard about. But that is Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. So drink her in, yes. We have some more beautiful purple sprayed edges. And this says, Outcast, Rogue, Orphan, Rebel. 17-year-old Anna is a scoundrel by nurture and an outlaw by nature. Found as a child drifting through space with a sentient android called D09, Anna was saved by a fearsome space captain and the grizzled crew she now calls family. But D09, one of the last remaining illegal metals, has been glitching, and Anna will stop at nothing to find a way to fix him. I don't read very much sci-fi, but that sounds fun. Like almost Animal Companion-esque with like a fun like mech companion or whatever. Sounds fun to me. We then have, so I have been on the hunt for a while, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know. But I've been looking for more queer romance in my life. I just think it's super cute and wholesome sometimes. And so I have heard of this one a little, but if you have any like queer romances that are actually written by like queer men, please let me know. I don't know why almost all of them seem to be written by the white woman, but it is what it is. And so we have What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, just in this like super cute, like almost like salmon-y orange. And the cute little couple that are moving in. I don't know anything about this. It just sounds like a good time. Arthur is only in New York for the summer, but if Broadway has taught him anything, it's that the universe can deliver a show-stopping romance when you least expect it. Ben thinks the universe needs to mind its business. If the universe had his back, he wouldn't be on his way to the post office carrying a box of his ex-boyfriend's things. I mean, it looks like it'll be just a precious fun time, right? But like I said, if you know of any like queer romances written by queer men, please let me know. Thanks. Okay, and then the final book that we have is The Cruel Prince by Miss Holly Black. Again, I think this is like the special Owl Crate edition, I want to say, with this like very, I don't know, it almost looks like Dark Souls too, this like throne, but I know that like, I don't think this book has anything similar vibe-wise or anything like that. I think it's literally like there's a mean prince. But I remember this being like the darling of BookTube like a year or two ago. Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous High Court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there, despite her mortality. But many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Carden, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, she must defy him and face the consequences. I've heard so much about this. So, like, if you are a, what is it, like the Folk of the Air or something, stan, let me know. Like, I'll definitely read this and prioritize it if people are interested in hearing me talk about it. I know I'm a few years late to the discussion, but hey, better late than never, right? And I don't know, I'm like torn. Like, I hope I love this book, but then I'll feel like compelled to go out and find the other 2 books in this same version, and I don't know that I even will be able to, so I'm like torn. Because like, obviously I want to love everything I read, but then also I don't want to feel compelled to go hunt down and spend like $300 that I don't have on the matching editions of this. So wish me luck. But that, my friends, is the end of the book haul. And that's all I have for you today, my friends. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more bookish stuff like this from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you've heard about any of these books that I talked about today, or you've read them, let me know which ones I should prioritize to read first. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!